in the kitchen.
Hello. Hello. Testing. Hello. Testing. Checking it out a little bit. I hear there it is. Go. Okay. Don't be afraid of the dead air.
Don't be afraid. Yes. Ooh.
Okay.
All right. We got some things working. Hold on. I want to check the camera. Hold
Coming
on.
in. It's all happening one step at a time.
Did you hear the riddle that's kind of about dead air?
No, but I can't hear you in my headphones at all.
Oh, no.
Hello. Hi.
There you are.
There I am.
Yeah, nice.
Yes. Hello. Ooh, am I cutting in and out? Maybe?
No? You sound good to me.
Amazing. Well,
but it, matters if you can
hear
yourself or not.
It doesn't matter. It matters how I sound in the ears of other people. No. But, the riddle is, so this guy is driving in a car, and he turns on the radio, and it's dead air, and he pulls over. It's a little dark, trigger warning, and he kills himself. Why?
Heavy.
Why
does he kill himself?
Yeah, what's up with that?
He can't enjoy the silence.
He's driving the car, he turns on the radio, and he hears dead air. And so when he hears the dead air, he pulls over, and he, again, trigger warning, ends his life.
Yeah.
I would say he couldn't enjoy the silence.
Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
He kills himself because, what would that mean? He turns on the radio. Oh my God. I want to know the answer to this.
It was a subliminal message from the dead air
to be
talking
fair,
about being dead.
Probably, yes. That's,
It was something in the airwaves.
That's one possible answer.
Did he
Alien
realize
technology.
that he's deaf?
No.
That's dark also.
Oh,
sorry.
no. There are plenty of people who can't hear and are enjoying and thriving.
Yes.
Well, okay, so I've also told the answer to this before, and I've had people get mad because, it doesn't work like that. But technically, the answer is he's a disc jockey, and he had a pre-recorded tape, and that was his alibi for killing someone. And so he realized his alibi was shot.
I never would have put those pieces together on my own.
That is wow. But I can't. It is kind of fair that you could put that together based on that.
I heard it at summer camp when I was a child, and I do remember. I think maybe the counselor kind of fed it to us a little bit, but we did work it out.
That's heavy.
And then I told it to adults, and they were like, "No, wait, fine, oh, cool. Well, I feel like it could have been anything. Then you're just telling me an elaborate story that I couldn't have to do. So I don't know if it's a fair riddle, but
interesting.
I feel like whoever gets that the first time, you better watch them. Watch out for them.
They know they have some secret information.
They're like, well, this is what I would do.
Exactly. Yeah. People always think about alibis.
Hey.
Oh, hi.
This is No Suggestion. I'm Ralph Jean Pierre. I've thrown my back out. Co-host Aston Hollins
hello,
is
I'm
here.
Aston Hollins.
All right, and we got special guest.
Very special guest
from the post-punk band Gustaf.
Yeah.
Gustaf?
Yes.
Like the name.
With an F.
Gustaf.
We got it off of a poster.
Lydia Gammill.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you said it right.
All right. Cool.
Very kind of you to even try.
Well,
we live in a first name world, so the fact that we're even throwing the second name in there, that's fun.
Welcome.
I want you to get your flowers.
Welcome, Lydia.
Yes, thank you.
Lydia and I, we were in, I think, improv 2 or 1.
Oh, no, I definitely think it was not the first, no. Maybe the second one.
It was 2. Was Steve Ling in our class?
Yes.
Oh my
Steve.
God.
Yeah, no, Steve, because I feel like he was really involved in the community.
Yeah.
For sure.
Going to those jams.
Yeah.
He's still
involved. Was there some sort of Facebook drama with?
There's
I'm so sorry to bring it up.
I don't know about this.
Buried.
He's living in his world, and we love him. I love Steve Ling very much.
Can I have some more sound in my headphones, Ralph? Especially my own voice.
Ooh, yeah.
That's
Is this better?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
So that and I think Phil Casal might have been in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love Phil.
Yes.
Both past guests of No Suggestion. Yeah, that class was a faithful class.
Was
That
Gabriel
sounds like a great class.
And then Jay Roderick. No, that might have been. I think Jay Roderick taught that class, or it was Jeff Grimwood that taught that class.
Jeff Grimwood, because you
Jeff
said Jay,
Grimwood.
you said the first name, and it just
also
I was like,
past guest.
Jeff Grimwood, what
Wow.
a prince.
Grimsy.
A prince.
Yeah. That was a different life. Okay. So I want you to talk us through how do you end up in improv, and then from there launch into the life of a rock
and roll
high priestess.
I think like a lot of people in New York City, you've got like a creative itch and a creative urge, and you go, what do I do with this? You go, let's take some improv classes and see how that goes. So I think that was part of it. I've always been interested in comedy. I'm a big comedy fan. I'm also a big fan of music. And so I was always kind of doing both. And I think I was just sort of like looking for my way in. So at that time, improv classes like one of the first things that I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's try this and see if I can get some footing in this. And then I
paint the picture for me. What's the comedy? What's the beginning of the comedy bug? Where are you? How old are you? What's the first thing that you're like?
Origin story.
I think this is a very popular answer for a lot of people. SNL and like Conan O'Brien. You know?
Sure.
Yes.
I mean, what?
Conan O'Brien.
And Conan O'Brien.
Yes.
He grew up like a couple towns over from me, and I remember like
a Massachusetts.
Kid, yes, exactly. And so he, there was like some sort of interview in a magazine, and he was like, "Pino's is my favorite pizza place in like Brookline, Massachusetts." And I'm like, "Oh, I've been to Pino's," which that's one of those first little glimmers where you're like, "Well, if Conan has been to Pino's,
right?
I've been to Pino's, maybe."
I mean, I already love this. Conan is my favorite comedian of all time.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah,
he's everything to me. So yeah, I totally relate to this. Okay, yeah, Conan is everything, and that makes me feel like already like confirms that we speak a very if you're a Conan person, that's a very particular place to. And I think that was for me. Like it was like Conan, SNL, particularly. I don't know why I remember this more than anything else, but particularly Norm Macdonald on Weekend.
People love him. I got to him a little later in the game, but he's like a real buddy. I've watched more of his like talk show interviews, and like he's a great interviewer.
Yeah,
it's
just an insane man. Yeah. Okay, so Conan, SNL, and then where does it peak for you, or what for you is like? Who's like you're like, oh, this is in comedy where I'm trying to go, or what I'm trying to be, or the thing that excites me the most?
Oh, I think it changes a lot. I mean, I think everyone, of course, is like obsessed with I think you should leave for right reasons. I feel like that first season when it came out, it was just really satisfying in a fun way where you're like, yeah, it's hyperbolic, but it's also like comes from a very real, grounded, emotional place. And it just is like, yeah. And then like, the Eric Andre show, like again, sort of a similar thing too. Like I really do. I've learned only in like the last couple of years, I'm like, oh, I think I like sort of like surrealism or like, that's fun, but it's a fine line. But then also when you start watching a lot of that content, it's like funny. You can sort of see what's a little hack and like what is actually like interesting, absurdist material,
Yeah.
I'm like behind on like my Tim and Eric, but like a similar sort of like cadence that is always fun. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever asked you this, Aston. What for you? Did you come to comedy first, or were you
my
comedy?
Origin story?
Yeah.
I think I was definitely a performance leaning child. I would do like impressions. I would like pretend to be an old lady when I was like a very little girl, and people laughed, and I was like, ooh, I like this. So, I guess my grandfather told stories that were funny, just like wild, fantastical sort of imaginings. He was a great storyteller. And I also watched
Grandpa, you never saw no bandicoot in a 3-piece suit. You're making that up.
Oh, I saw it.
What happened to your voice just there, Grandpa? Andy, you heard it.
My vitamin just
I heard it.
My vitamins. No, it's 100% true. 100% true.
What's going on? They got something going on, Grandpa. You got a vitamin for your voice?
Yeah.
You're telling tall tales?
Grandpa, why is your mustache falling off?
Oh, my word.
Let me just reattach it.
This is the oddest day on the front porch we've ever had.
Children, I'm so glad you're here. It's one of my favorite things to tell you these true true stories. Absolutely 100% true.
You're saying a lot of qualifiers today, Grandpa.
Yes.
I feel like you should just spin a tale.
Yes. Well, let me weave you a yarn.
Weave us a tale. You get your teeth are at a different angle than your mouth
let
is.
me just.
They're resting at a different. Andy, I'm scared. I'm scared of what's happening with grandfather, and I
Okay.
feel like it's rude to back away from
surprise,
family.
everyone.
Oh.
Whoa.
Ah!
I'm taking off my disguises. I'm just your little cousin, Norma. I'm just a little girl.
What?
But I do a really good impression of grandfather.
I'm not going to lie. That was great.
Thank you so much.
I need to know how long you've been keeping up this charade. Do we even have a grandfather?
I mean, yeah, we do. He's fine. He's doing fine.
Well, where is he now if he's doing fine?
He's upstairs.
Alive?
Of course.
Wait, let's go check. Grandpa!
Grandpa!
Hello.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you are fine.
Yes, I'm fine.
You're wearing your pajama suit and your floppy pajama hat.
Yes, my favorite. Is Norma pretending to be me again?
Oh,
Is
this
that
is
what she's doing?
We
Little
didn't
Norma?
realize.
Again?
We didn't realize this was a thing that happened continually.
Yes, I've been encouraging the future generations.
Hold
of
on, wait a
comedians.
minute. Grandpa.
Let me tell you a
Grandpa.
story.
Hold on, Grandpa.
Wait.
Hold on. Oh, I'm going to grab this man. That's Norma again.
Norma.
How did you get upstairs so fast? Scene.
So, yeah, so grandpa.
Yeah.
But my grandparents also really liked comedy, and they had these Carol Burnett show VHSs. And I thought, I still think I admire her so much. But when I was a little girl, I thought she was like the funniest thing. And she has this one parody musical. It's like 15 minutes long of Little Orphan Annie. And it's so funny. It's called Little Miss Showbiz. And like, I watched it over and over and over again. And, that was definitely, an early experience, but I always really like to laugh also. Who doesn't? I love the feeling.
It's great.
So
Easy to forget.
I went after it, and I continue to go after it because it's the best.
It was very recent, like in the last few years, that I learned that most people don't laugh every day.
Get out.
Yes.
I feel sad for those people. I definitely am laughing.
I find that bizarre.
Yeah, that's wild.
I mean, it's happened to me.
Really?
Well, but I'd be like, who's honestly keeping track of those?
Yeah.
And the ha-has.
I feel like I laugh pretty
regularly.
Pretty good a lot. But yeah, so
I do. But I feel like sometimes you realize like, I think there's a bit of a joy deficiency. There's been moments too where I'm like, I gotta like reconnect.
Yes.
With like having a good time.
I wonder.
Totally.
I feel like that there was something about that is kind of a blessing because you're aware of how scarce a resource that can be. Where I've probably taken it for granted, big time. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I take for granted that I just can laugh most of the time whenever I want. That there's something to make me. Yeah, I didn't. That's the thing. I didn't realize that everybody didn't have that blessing. It is a huge thing in life. Damn.
Have you guys ever met anyone who like doesn't like to joke around?
A very, very serious type personality.
Yeah,
sure.
very serious.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think I have, but also I'm like, I know they exist. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah.
This was the answer I was going to give. Maybe it's the same for you. I don't think they're that way around me. I can disarm pretty well. Where like, even if you're a person who doesn't like to have a good time, I can probably get you there.
Yeah.
So I don't.
I can see that about your personality.
Also flattering myself a little bit, but yeah.
I'm like, woof, yeah, gauntlet has been thrown. I gotta find you some joyless people.
Yeah, I mean, they will remain joyless after they leave me, but I do think maybe it's about permission sometimes, and knowing that it's okay to be
to enjoy life.
Yeah. Okay. I've not told this story on here. This is one of the stories I'm most proud of in my life. And that's going to be my next question to you. Okay. This is something I'm just proud of.
Okay.
It was in my first like 6 months hosting karaoke. I hosted karaoke for a bunch of years with
that
Kings of
sounds
Karaoke.
really fun.
Yeah. And I thought I was very good at the job. I thought I was, to be honest, one of the best.
I bet.
But so in the first couple of months, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was confident in what I wanted it to be. And I remember I was at a party and I was just like, and I'm young, I'm in my mid-20s, so I'm like dancing my ass off. I'm spry, I'm beautiful. I'm dancing and enjoying the karaoke party. And I heard a young lady behind me go, she goes, she whispers to somebody else, doesn't he know he's trying too hard, or doesn't he know that he's dancing too hard? I heard her whisper that behind me, and I just clocked it and just kept dancing. I just kept doing it.
Just keep dancing.
And then about 2.5 hours later, I see this same girl and she's like going nuts. She's just like, you know what I mean? Because that was like the beginning of the party. I'm the only person dancing.
You inspired her.
I'm setting off. Yeah, she's just like, she's probably got her shirt off. She's like just going crazy and she's dancing. And I went up behind her as she was dancing, like she was facing away from me. And I go, and I whispered in her ear, there's no such thing as dancing too hard. And she just nodded and kept dancing.
Whoa, that's major.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's life-changing. Perhaps you changed her life.
Maybe I did. I haven't thought about that. Anyway, okay. What's a story like that for you, Lydia? A story of like, oh, this is a cool thing I did. I'm going to give myself credit for this.
Oh.
Something you're proud of.
Yeah.
Something I'm proud of. I think anytime I finish anything, it's like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny when you're like in the middle of like trying to do something, you're like, this is never going to get done. And
like
then it's
a creative
done.
project?
Creative thing, yeah. Like the album artwork, we went big old ring around the rosy, like tried to work with someone who was very talented, more talented than me, but it just wasn't like the right vibe. And it was like that last minute thing where I was like, oh, I'm going to try and do this myself, even though I don't know how
right.
to do it. And then I do find those are one of those things where then I find myself like pulling it up and sometimes being like, oh, look, it's done. Or like even today I had to make some stickers for like our vinyl label and I was like, I don't know. And then when I sent them, I did find myself like returning and like looking and being like, ooh, that's done.
Ooh.
So
And I did it. Yes,
Yeah.
Lydia's a musician. I don't think we said that. We were having this conversation before we went on the airwaves.
Of the band, of the band.
Oh, yes, we did
Gustaf.
say the band Gustaf.
Talked about it.
Well, keep going.
We did it.
Yeah. Tell us more about your music.
That's not a victorious like whispering in someone's ear like there's no such thing as dancing too hard. It's
I
not
hope she recites that as a mantra now. But I do want to say that because that's something we were talking about just before was like finishing things.
Yeah,
and that's something I was talking about with a friend on the way here.
I've been struggling with it lately.
Yeah,
you're gonna do
finishing it. Thank you so much.
What is that? Just an automatic thing for you? Did you have to learn that lesson about finishing things? How are you about finishing?
I'm not that great. Or what I do realize, who in this generation doesn't have a little bit of diagnosed ADHD, which has been helpful, at least being cognizant of that because it helps me navigate it in a way. Or like you watch it happen where it's like, oh, if I understand that something's not due until a certain time, it's not going to get done until a certain time. And that's actually like an economical, I heard about that on like a Planet Money podcast or something like that. I think it's like, that's an actual like thing you can observe in a workplace. Like the amount of time you give someone to do a task is how long it takes to do that task.
Oh, yes,
wow.
I've heard this.
Yeah.
Wow.
And another like thing that kind of haunts, and I also am someone who's like, very heady. I like to think about things. I'll pick things up, I'll put them back down and like, things and like sometimes like by having to force things out like they come out faster and then other times forcing them you sort of just watch them take longer than you want and you're annoyed and that's okay. And I think I've become a lot more patient with the process but like and like my band especially like it's taken a minute for like every record in business you're supposed to undersell over deliver and I do the opposite all the time. I'm like don't worry it's gonna be done in like 20 minutes which means like never. But in terms of like making things and finishing things, there's like a study they've done with like I did it as a kid with paper airplanes, and they've also done it with like people who throw on a pottery wheel. And one group is tasked with making the best pot that they can make. Oh my
God, I know the story you're gonna. This story changed my life.
Tell me, I don't know.
It messes me. I think about it. It haunts me too.
I don't know if you've ever emailed me. This is my email address.
No way.
Okay, tell the story and I'll tell you my email.
So the study or the thing that's proven is that like there are two groups of people. One is told to make the best pot they can possibly make, and the other group is told to make as many pots as they can make. And they're each given an hour. And pretty much the best pots come from the quantity group by the end of it.
Wow.
And because there's like a half-life in terms of like getting better at something. Like once you finish it, like your first, for the quality group, their first one is going to be much better than the quantity group. But every time you have to finish something, like there's like a leveling up or like,
a learning
thing.
Yeah.
So that by the time, like, so for the first couple, it takes more time to get to a certain quality. But like by the time you get to a certain quantity, technically, like you've like have a half-life of like learning, if that makes sense. So you're like that much better. So like you end up making better things faster by like just doing the quantity
Denzel,
route.
you just blew my mind.
Blew me right away.
You just blew my whole mind.
I mean, my world is like cracked open with that.
Stuart, the look on your face is just...
I'm in awe. I'm
it's like
awestruck.
You've seen a ghost.
I don't want to lie. It's not the first time I've been in this position.
Oh my God. I've never thought... I mean, you've just solved an engineering problem that has plagued us for...
We have been stumped for a long time.
I know. The answer was 3.
Whoa, wow.
Sometimes, it's just easier than you think.
I can't even look at you. I'm so embarrassed.
It's like looking at the sun.
It is. It's like, I have to avert my eyes as though an angel from on high has come down to give us a special decree. I don't feel worthy.
Oh, that's a bit of an exaggeration,
Denzel, your trench coat is like some sort of now symbol of knowledge.
Yeah, you just blasted in here with your trench coat and your knowledge, and you solved this problem for us. I mean,
how could you bestow this knowledge on us?
Yeah, I feel like we don't deserve it.
Can I be honest with you guys?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, the way you pull out that thermos, it's filled with grace and
gorgeous.
Character. Yes, please.
I've been planning this for a long time. I feel like my voice hasn't really been heard around here, and
a shame, a tragedy, a crime.
And so I thought maybe if I planted a specific equation on the board that perhaps I knew the elaborate answer to 3, I could somehow try and win your respect. Whoa. But honestly, the showering of praise, it's making me feel a little bit bad about myself.
Don't pour the contents of your thermos on yourself.
No, I deserve it. Denzel, I deserve to be wet right now.
You set us
Good
up?
people can be dry.
Wait. You set us up?
I feel betrayed.
To fail?
And yet I have a sympathy for you.
It wasn't necessarily setting you up, just perhaps leading you down an elaborate ruse of a issue that never quite existed so that perhaps I could feel better in your eyes. But
I mean,
are we the Goodwill Hunting or the Goodwill Hunted?
It's upsetting, but I also...
Yes, as in Goodwill Hunting follows a script, and you've kind of been following along to a carefully planned script.
I'm very upset. I'm very upset that I've been elaborately tricked and rused, but I'm also upset that Denzel, you just couldn't talk to us about it.
Yeah, just tell us when you don't feel heard and you don't feel seen. We appreciate you in this department.
And we want you to feel, good about your work.
Well, if we're being honest, I feel like there are other times that I've tried to bring it up and it just really hasn't worked. And you kept saying, "Hey, stop dragging your coat on the ground," or "Hey, what's up with the thermos nerd?"
I might have said that. Yeah.
And
bottom of the edge of your coat is now sogged with chicken noodle.
Yeah,
I might have said some of those things.
I wrote them in the school gazette. I wrote them down.
Yeah, that was public, and that really hurt my feelings.
What have we done, Stuart?
I'm feeling bad.
I'm going to pour the contents of my thermos on myself.
Okay, yeah, I'll do it too.
That's good. This is making me feel maybe a little bit more seen. Because
everyone should be seen.
This is yogurt.
Yogurt. Well, it doesn't yet. It's not. It's just sort of sitting on top of your head now. But at least we're all a little wet together.
As it should be. Seen. All right, beautiful. I love it. Denzel. Okay.
Wait, we were talking about
finishing.
Wait, you were
finish the pots.
Okay, the pots.
Think about that. So think about that. 2024, trying to finish stuff.
Yeah.
You just got to throw some pots.
Okay.
That was honestly my email. I won't tell you how it's spelled, but my email is keep taking shits.
Oh,
that's my email address. It's about that story.
Oh,
which is
I know
just
how
like,
it's spelled.
Keep going.
Yeah,
but I won't say.
Keep making stuff because of that. Like that story I remember a friend told me that story. In his version of the
haunting.
story, it was over a semester in
But
a
now you
pottery
can
class.
email
But
Rob.
it was still pottery.
Yeah.
It was over a semester, which I don't know what the real story is, but still, it's the same conclusion. Like at the
Honestly, I got an email from this email address once, and I was like,
end. Yes.
like, what? Why is this his email address? Like, I really was a brain scratcher. Like, what is this about?
Have you never asked before?
I didn't. I was like, maybe a little, I don't know.
No, this is a common issue that I have too, where it's like there's an obvious question and you just don't say it.
I mean, sometimes you just have to accept the mystery. And I was like, maybe I'm just not ever going to understand, and that's fine. I don't need to understand.
I think that is a comedian's trait. I think a part of a comedian's trait is something absurd happens and you act as though that was meant to happen at 4:00. You know what I mean? That's just an ethic that we learn. That is honestly my favorite thing about. I think it's my single favorite thing about comedy. And like, just something absurd happens and you act as though, yeah, that's how life works. I think it's something about that is beautiful. It might be like a Conan thing.
Maybe. I guess, yeah, sure. If like if you're doing bits, absolutely, you got to accept the reality of a bit. But then I feel like in real life, like you're leaving a lot of stuff unturned there.
I mean,
know?
but we can never know everything also. So it's, there are both sides. Of course, we have the thirst for knowledge, but some things are just unknowable.
I want to imagine that you had that question, but then you were like, "Oh, it's Ralph's email address," and it just melted away as though you were like,
I'm sure I just moved on with my day, but I do remember like a clear thought process. Like,
"Why?"
What's with this email address?
I've clung to that email just for like more than a decade, and
Good for you.
Wow.
And I really because of that story, it means that much to me. I don't know what it was.
I wonder if someone has made their email address "keep throwing pots."
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Or better yet, what is it? What is it? Your email address again? Or
Keep taking shits.
Keep taking shits too, because like yours was taken.
Like, who is this man?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, that's fascinating. I want to ask you this: what was it like? Maybe I don't know if the first record you ever completed was a Gustaf record or not, but what was it like finishing your first record?
Yeah, no, unfortunately, yes. So like I've played in bands for a really long time, and have been writing music in different iterations for a while as well. And I think so it was like the first thing that like I had really released that was like Lydia Gammill is writing some music on something. And I also just took a really long time putting it out there because I was still sort of figuring out what it wanted to be, and the band was playing a lot live and changing a lot. And I think sometimes things sound great in a live environment, but then when you hear them in the context of like a recording, it definitely like there's just like different sort of tools you have to use. And I was like maybe a little frustrating to work with, but I was like, no, we're gonna try and like make this right. And what was annoying was when we were playing a lot, and like everyone would be like, when you put in recordings out, and I was like, we're taking our time, I don't care. But then also people would be like, I know what your recording should sound like, and I'm like, great, what do you think they should sound like? And they like wouldn't tell you. We had a lot of smart Alex just being like, I know what your record should sound like, and I don't think we've ever pleased those people, but there's always the next one.
Just you have to please yourself, I think, as an artist. Like not everybody's gonna like it. And so you just have to, it has to be good enough for you. And then if people like it, that's great. But
I don't like this. I'm sorry to tell you, it's not a problem. You don't have to change it, but I'm not a big fan of your, whatever you guys are putting together. I'm just not a big fan of it. Sorry. I don't know if that burst your bubble. Just caught you here in the parking lot. I thought I'd let you know.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan.
Philip, I want you to know
Yep.
that Margie and I from the 5th floor, we worked all morning baking these cookies in the tiny office kitchen. And we just wanted to do something nice for your birthday.
Yeah. And this is kind of like a weird time to be bringing it up in like the parking lot.
Yeah.
Like they were there, like we had cookies at lunch. The whole day. You seemed to enjoy them. I just don't know why you're bringing it up as
the entire afternoon.
About to carpool home. Yeah.
I just want to let you guys know that you guys did a big to-do seemingly for my birthday, old Philip's birthday. You made some cookies. You heard me say somewhere that I like chocolate chip oatmeal walnut cookies, and you
Yes.
made a whole batch of them. Whoop-de-doo. I wasn't a big fan of them. Just wanted to let you know. I had about 7 to make sure.
Okay, Philip. Well, I happen to think that they are really delicious, and couldn't have made them without your help, Margie. So
No.
thanks for that.
Well, Margie and Francesca, you guys go ahead and congratulate each other. But old Philip is here to let you know that I wasn't a big fan of the way you guys just took it upon yourself.
Philip, we just want to be nice to you on your birthday.
You do a lot for us. We wanted to do something nice for you, and I'm
exactly.
sorry. I'm sorry if it didn't work out for
Yeah,
you.
I mean, maybe, as the IT guy, you don't always get appreciated, you know?
Who said?
You're just in and out of whenever people have a problem.
What are you? I mean, come on with you.
Are you getting emotional?
No,
Are you all right, Philip?
not in the slightest. Just came here to let you gals know
Gals. Well,
that folks. Pardon me if I've missed.
no. Well, you just really went really hard on that gals thing.
Yeah.
So I just want to be like, is something else
We don't
going
live in
on?
the South,
or-
Philip.
I mean, you can call us
What?
gals
Sure.
if
I just was hoping I could. I never felt respected before, and it's by any of my peers. Not my
Oh.
Aw.
my male counterparts, and I
Aw.
never thought that any of the ladies ever noticed me.
Oh, Philip.
Oh, we notice you.
Sure.
Hard to
Uh-oh.
miss you.
Yeah.
I'm-
I'm sure you have a lot to offer.
I put on a lot of
anybody.
weight, and I had 7 of those
Well,
cookies.
Well, it's your birthday.
Yeah.
It's fine to celebrate.
So,
I had 9, honestly. I ate 2 of them in the bathroom.
okay, but I just still really want to know, did you really like them? Or are you just, you ate them, but you didn't actually enjoy them?
It's kind of more insulting
Yeah.
than just.
So
not-
what is it, Philip?
We worked really hard on them, so
Yeah.
we're sorry to pivot away from your emotional well-being,
Yeah.
but this was
Lifting
an important
up my
project.
shirt
We worked
so you can
hard.
see I stowed the rest of them under my shirt.
Ah, Philip, why?
I didn't even put them in a bag or anything. They're just against my skin.
Okay, well, I guess they're your cookies.
Yeah,
you can do what you like with them.
I can eat them. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay, they're for you. That's your birthday, Philip.
I honestly don't know how much anybody else got.
That's fine. They don't need to get any else.
I love them so much.
Okay, you guys, I have to go pick up my kid at 4:15.
Yeah, give this one to
You know what? Why don't you just
Lair.
keep? You just
your
keep
son's.
it.
That's your son's name, Lara.
Lair does. Lair gets plenty of cookies at home, but I
Okay.
appreciate it. But everybody, hop in my Mazda Miata and
Shotgun scene. Okay. Oh no, that.
so sad,
so
Yeah.
sad.
so sad.
But I love it. What was I gonna say?
I feel like I do this thing sometimes in a scene. I just took right over from what you're saying. I'm sorry
please
about that.
let's talk
It's
about
like
it.
I have.
Get in
It's like I'm like, oh, I feel bad about this, and then I wind up being angry with the
No.
person later on.
Nice. I mean, I love one of the things I love, and I wonder if this happens in music. One of the things I love about improv is it's, for the most part, if you're really playing over time, what's inside is going to come out.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's
you know
true.
what I mean? And it's you're going to express something true and
Something
honest
from within.
from within,
Yeah.
and I love that.
It's also fun to just be like, where's this gonna go?
Yeah.
Where is this story going?
Yeah, it's so cool. I didn't know I had the cookies under my shirt.
No,
Yeah, we
you discovered.
there
We all
they
discovered
were.
that together. They were.
Yeah.
Skin on cookie contact.
It doesn't sound very comfortable. A lot of crumbs,
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of crumbs.
Or I feel like you'd need some sort of I get the sweat from your skin inside the clothes. I feel like that would maybe help them adhere.
It's a way of warming.
But it
them.
would melt
Yeah.
the chocolate chips. you
Oh, that's
know?
true. I
Yeah.
forgot they were. Well, I was distracted by the raisins and the oats. I feel like a raisin chocolate chip oat cookie melts less easily than a classic chocolate chip.
Depending on the heat of the body, I do want. Okay,
Yeah.
I was actually having like a big art conversation with a friend on the way over here. You have a friend that you talk art with, and when you talk to them, you're just like constantly like, whoa, just having epiphany after epiphany. Either from them or just because you're talking
At
to
times,
them.
yes.
So shout out to my friend Frank.
Shout out to you, Frank.
Yeah, I was telling him how for me writing songs, it feels like I'm pulling. It feels to me like I'm trying to pull my own heart out through my sternum. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And I was telling, because a lot of my raps and stuff are really silly or absurdist or surreal, and I'm like, even those, because I'm trying to tell the truth. Like I'm not just trying to be funny. I'm like, do I mean this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it feels like, so I wondered, what is your relation? Is there a possibility that people might mischaracterize how much you put into your songs because it's funnier or sillier or goofier? Like, is the process to make that work what people might imagine?
Make that work, but people like it's like
because it's like bright and fun.
Right, yeah. Yeah, well, specifically, I mean, I feel like depending on, like, Gustaf is a very sort of specific writing mindset, or I feel like I created some sort of, like, thematic boundaries that I wanted to work within. And then I feel like always with, like, writing, I'm a very open and a very private person in the same way. But also, like, I think the same thing we were saying, like, improv, even though technically you're, like, playing a character, it's based in some sort of human experience that you've had, or... So I do, like, when I write music, I do try and kind of like not like water things down, but like try and like sort of shed the personal. Like there's like things in my personal life that inspire things, but then also I try and like go beyond that and like try and find kind of like at least a relatable core of like the human experience to sort of like extrapolate on. Rather than being like super, because I also feel like sometimes I've heard songs or singer-songwriters that are like so much like, this is my life.
Yeah.
I, you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow.
I used
your
to
life.
do that when I was younger. And
yes, me too.
Now
yeah.
I feel like, ooh, like so basic.
Well, what's so
old self.
funny is when you put something in a song too, you immediately usually give yourself the higher ground. But like,
I'd love to make myself the hero.
Yeah, but everything there's like another person who is like the hero of their own story. Like no one wakes up being like, I'm gonna be an asshole today. Like it's like everyone thinks they're in the right.
I think some people do wake up like that.
Yeah.
Some people.
Maybe Tom Waits. We talked a lot about him last week's show. Oh, and also, who's somebody who Bonnie Tyler?
Bonnie Tyler.
She needed a hero.
I need a hero.
Yeah, is that right?
Yeah.
Is that the right artist? Yeah, she's looking for a hero. But I do love it. It also it reminds me of this idea that I have tried to articulate many times, which is sometimes we feel like being personal means being autobiographical.
Right.
But that doesn't have to be true. I don't have to give you like this happened on last Wednesday and blah blah in order to say something really personal.
100%.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah, I feel like now I've moved, beyond that, and I'm grateful because I think that it's more advanced, and also. Better. I think a better quality of writing.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just if you're in that place where you're like, fuck this person.
Oh, it's a great
Yeah. And I don't know. I was there at the time, but now I'm just like, it's all good, man. It's all good.
I feel like I've written a lot of songs from that place, but also because like, but relating to the thing like. But also what was freeing about it too is like I'm going to separate from this myself. It's like right now I have an emotion that like logically I don't really stand by.
Yeah.
But it's gotta go. And I think everyone has those moments where like I'm feeling strongly about this even though I might not be right. And so it's fun to sort of explore that through like a third character. I don't know. Yeah, just like
Yeah.
That is fascinating because I have a lot of judgment for myself around feelings that I know I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And I will push it out and stuff it down and smother it before I even let myself explore
in
it.
art or in life or all around?
In life, which means that it often will not make it to my art. You know what I mean? Which is like, that is limiting.
Sorry, I'm just trying to understand. You have feelings and you're like, not this feeling.
Like jealousy or arrogance.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'll be like, this doesn't help me.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes for myself, it's helpful to be like, okay, this is how I'm feeling. Like, I'm feeling that way right now in this moment, and it's not going to last forever. It's just an emotion. Even I think it's an ugly emotion, you know, like it's there, and I'm not proud of it, but I don't know. I'm not going to beat myself up over it. So
yeah, it is.
I let it roll through, you know?
Yeah, but letting it pass through you. I think that is like a cool thing about being funny and being a comedian is it sort of gives us a little wiggle room to admit the ugly parts of ourselves.
Totally.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's a great, and I feel like it helps you get away. Like, I don't know if getting away with is the right thing, but also like if something is, especially with rock and roll, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's quote unquote powerful or like interesting because it's someone just being like, and I'm like, that's fine, but like if you really want me to respect you, you kind of have to have like a little bit of you got to be a little self-aware and a little funny in that, like when you are, and kind of while still managing to be like that. I'm like, ooh, that's genius.
All right,
that's
Chelsea,
good
we
stuff.
get it. You're the hottest girl in school.
Yeah, so what?
Chelsea.
Look at me.
You're just making everyone else feel bad about themselves.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't help that you feel bad about yourselves while I'm standing in my power.
she shines so bright.
Just shine. Okay, you don't have to shine so
I'm
bright.
a diamond.
This is homeroom. We
Yeah,
can just
relax in homeroom. Kick back, Chelsea. Put your mirror away.
But
But if I don't shine, how can you see?
that's a massive mirror. I didn't even know how that fit in your little purse.
Yeah.
It's a tiny Gucci purse.
Anything can happen if you believe in yourself.
It's a full length mirror.
Yes, because I need you to see all of me.
Wow.
I think it's a little much. You do your homework against the mirror. All right, Chelsea.
It's how I learn.
Well, we're okay. Well, we got to go to the mathletes meeting.
I gotta go do my math.
We got to go do math. We're not as glamorous as you are.
I bet she's even good at math. Are you good at math, Chelsea? In addition to being beautiful and cool.
Absolutely. I'm taking AP Calc.
Oh, come on.
Come on. I flunked out of that class.
Yeah, I'm in remedial math.
Paulson's in remedial math.
But also on the mathletes.
We're trying to listen. We love
I'm
math.
really trying to improve.
Yeah,
I'm working really hard.
I think it's helping you, but we're not in calc.
But I know that everyone there is like, carrying me on their wings. And
I didn't want to say it to you, but you really. I'm
ashamed.
Yeah, you're the.
Shame? What's that?
Yeah, this is not about me. Chelsea's beautiful.
I feel like you've never experienced any shame in your life. Look at how you're grinning.
I admire her.
Thank you. Admire. That's a word I know. Shame.
Shame is not a word that you know?
I don't like how it sounds in my mouth. It's dirty.
I'm going to open up the dictionary to S-H-A, shame. I want you to read the definition of shame.
Yeah, read it out loud
read
to
it,
us,
Chelsea.
I don't know. It's just, it's blank.
You can't. Oh my God, it's not there.
Even has a special dictionary.
Special? I know that word. That's like me.
Hold on, let me go to SP. It's oh my God, it goes on for pages. Just the definition of special.
Such power you have, Chelsea.
Ooh, power. I love that word too. That's what I feel inside of me.
Offer us a little bit of your power.
Yeah.
Give us one.
How do we tap into that?
advice.
Well, yeah, give us some words of wisdom, Chelsea, please.
It's not words. It's looking. Look in my mirror.
Oh my God, look at this mirror.
I don't see it.
What do you see?
I have no reflection.
Yes, you must have seen.
I wish I could have a little of that, honestly. I really do. I need more
Okay, you guys know something. Speaking of people who are so wrong, but it's something I think about a lot. And I don't stand by this person or the behaviors, but I think there was a tourist who walked in on there are some ancient ruins And I forget where they are, but they're kind of like, it's sort of like pyramids, but they're steps. And this woman, you're not allowed to walk on them. And this woman climbed up them. And so a bunch of people gathered at the base being like yelling at her. And the police were called. And so by the time she walks down from like these sacred sort of ruins, there's a whole crowd waiting for her and like a bunch of and the police ready to take her away. So everyone's just going, boo, fuck you. And she just is literally walking through the crowd like, yeah, so what? Just like Jerry Springer style, like, yeah, I know you, like, yeah, I did it and I would do it again. And I'm like, I think,
wow,
unforgivable, should not be doing that. But also I'm like, wow, to like have that confidence is just incredible. Just like, yeah, so what? I'm like, I can't believe it.
Let's talk about confidence.
I was just about to say this.
Let's talk about confidence a little bit. So I want to know if you guys, either one of you, would describe yourselves as a confident person, and or what is confidence for you and your relationship to it?
I think when I was younger, sometimes people would like, you don't seem confident enough, and I didn't relate to what they were saying. But I will, because I think I can picture what people picture as looking
there's
confident.
A flashy version of confidence that's like, I don't think that's like real.
I don't relate to that. I don't feel unconfident, but sometimes I've found as I'm realizing as I've gotten older that sometimes I've minimized myself and made myself small and cute because I thought it was cute. And now I realize I made myself smaller than I was.
Yeah.
And I don't like that about myself. And I think I probably missed out on opportunities because I didn't want to embrace how big I actually feel like I am. So there's that. But for the most part, I do feel like I feel more confident than not confident, but I feel like I've left confidence on the table that I have more that I could grab. Is that a good? Was that immediately ask for validation?
Is that good?
How's that, guys?
Did I do it? Was it confident?
That's right.
You've always come off as very confident, or I think there's like flashy confidence, which I feel like can lead people astray, or like sometimes you meet people like, wow, that person's really confident, and then you're just like, oh, that person kind of sucks. But like I feel like being comfortable is like confident. I don't know, sort of like knowing who you are and like not necessarily feeling like you have to like, and being okay with other people not being the same as you, but also just being like, this is like, I think just like knowing yourself and being cool with that is confident to me.
Yes, yeah. I think the same about you. I think one of the things I've always admired about you is that you've always seemed to have like this whatever I am or am doing is like maybe quirky and weird, but you didn't like diminish it. You're like, it's still beautiful.
Oh, geez.
It's just you know what I mean? I feel like you've always what's the word I'm looking for? Radiated that. Yeah. And that is wonderful because I think it empowers others too.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's the dream, you know?
Yeah.
Me living as me doesn't always feel, oh boy. Oh, if that's true, oh, what a dream. What a dream. Because who doesn't want to be that person? Yeah. But it is funny. I feel like you're saying like, feeling like you're leaving things on the table or not feeling like confident to be like the big person that you know you are. Mm-hmm. I do feel that way about other people. Like you see someone like just like wearing a crazy outfit and you're like, oh wow, like that is cool to see. It's helpful to see someone own something, to be like, it is very inspiring to be like, yes. And then also going back to the pit days, you talking about like being afraid of being the big person. Mm-hmm. I also remember like after like one of our graduation classes, like I think I was always very shy about like coming out as like a big character or whatever, because like you want to be like respectful and like a teammate. But I think also sometimes if you don't, he was like, and then I think the teacher was like, sometimes like the generous thing is to like be the big person, you know? Whereas like, I feel like, I would have problem as an improviser too, because I think I was always in my head just trying, like wanting to be good for the people around me. And like that would sort of get in the way, because like, it's the same thing with driving. I realized when I took too much time off driving, if you're too timid of a driver, it's dangerous.
It makes me anxious.
You can't
avoid
be
a lot.
You can't be an aggressive driver, but if you're too scared, you're also like a risk.
Yes, yeah. Where does your relationship to confidence?
I would say like I could have more. I would like more. I think I could have more, but I'm thinking about, as we're having this conversation, that maybe my issue is more like self-trust. Like, even if I have done the work, even if I feel prepared, there's this like probably some like leftover self-sabotage that isn't serving me anymore. That's like, you're going to fail, or like you're not prepared, like you're not prepared enough. You're not, like you're going to fuck it up somehow, even though like I also know that it's not true. Like, trying to deal with that voice that's just like, I did the work, here I am, like, let's do the thing now, and it's going to be fine. I think maybe it's because I have kind of a bad track record of like doing things where like I shouldn't have trusted myself, you know, in that time.
I was gonna say, do you have any favorite failures that you're comfortable sharing?
Oh
favorite
man,
failures.
Favorite failures. I mean, there have been so many, but as to pick a favorite failure, how much time do we have? Favorite failure. A favorite failure.
Or what you're saying, you referenced, I think they were like, there are moments when you did trust yourself, when maybe you shouldn't have trusted yourself.
Oh yeah, just like,
again, that you're comfortable. It's kind of like, it's a personal question,
right? No, but I think now, like, I have a good track record with myself of showing up in a way that feels good, like to myself, to other people in my life, and like, I feel like I do have just a more base level of like, I'm good, it's good, like I'm okay, but I don't know.
This is Assistant Principal Daniels.
Thank you.
And I want to go ahead and tell everybody, I want to welcome Principal Clark and say that I am sure that Principal Clark is not going to fail as the principal of this school.
Yes,
Principal Clark.
Let's welcome her to the stage.
Welcome to the stage, Principal Clark, who will assuredly not fail.
Shuffling
Applause,
papers.
Now shuffling their papers, timidly, tentatively, but perhaps with, maybe there's a hidden agenda.
Thank you for that.
Threw up in their mouths a little bit. Principal Clark, this is Assistant Principal Daniels.
I think she's going to pull it together, actually. Yeah.
Superintendent, thank you. We are both giving play-by-play correspondence.
Watching.
Closely watching.
Well, that's this certainly wasn't how
not a single word formed yet. Not yet a single full word.
Struggling.
Good.
Sounded like good. Almost sounded like the word good, but it didn't finish.
I think Principal Clark is going to get it together.
Superintendent, I agree with you. As Assistant Principal Daniels, I hope they'll get it together here.
Yeah,
we are gathered.
Beginning. That's the beginning of a funeral. We're gathered.
Okay. My
Cottonmouth.
My name.
Started doing jumping jacks. Yes.
I heard my name.
I heard yes. So the phrase "my name" has been spoken by a Principal Clark,
along with the word "good."
Students.
Okay. Attention, students. Pay attention. You got gnawing at the microphone. Gnawing on the microphone.
And you're listening to W School Announcements.
WW School Announcements, giving you play-by-play on the opening speech.
Straight from the administrative office.
Straight from the Office of Administration.
Blasting into your classrooms.
The introductory speech of your new principal, Principal Clark.
Principal Clark. Pew, pew, pew.
Hello.
Principal Clark says hello.
Hello, everybody. Threw up in their mouth, swallowed it.
You know, I'm just going to go check on
Okay.
Principal
I'm
Clark.
a little bit concerned. We're a little bit concerned at this moment about Principal Clark. Superintendent is walking over to the principal. Having an off-mic discussion.
I'm gonna need a Gatorade. I'm gonna need a couple of minutes, and then I'll be right on that mic.
Cut to 15 minutes from then.
Scene.
Beautiful.
I was like, I don't know how to heighten.
This is perfect.
Not
Great.
saying anything.
Let's do this for Ian.
All
Hey,
right.
you're listening to Radio Free Brooklyn, independent listener-supported radio.
Hey.
Thanks for listening. Your support keeps us going. Radio Free Brooklyn's mission is to provide free and open platform to our community and promote media literacy, education, free expression, and public art. Hey, your donations. We rely on donations from listeners like you. Please
Like
support us
you.
with a monthly pledge and one-time donation at radiofreebrooklyn.org/donate.
.org
Hey, do you want to read that
/donate.
second paragraph?
Oh,
or the third one?
Which one? The,
The third
third
one,
one?
yeah.
About the mobile app?
Yeah.
Ooh, spoiler alert. If you'd like to listen to RFB when you're not in front of your computer, please download our free mobile app for iPhone and Android. Available
We have no
in
reflection.
the App Store for iPhone or the Google Play Store for Android.
Keep taking shits.
All right.
Call
RP
back.
newsletter verbatim read. Please be sure to subscribe to our monthly newsletter for the latest news about new programming and upcoming RFB events. You can sign up at radiofreebrooklyn.org/newsletter.
That
What?
you Perfect. All right. Hey, why don't you leave us with some plugs? How do people
Yeah,
find you? How do people
where
find
can we
Gustaf?
find
Where can they see you
everything?
play? Where can they just become a huge fan?
Yeah.
My gosh. Well, we have an Instagram account, Gustaf, GUSTAF_NYC, and we're also on Spotify, spelled
right.
GUSTF, whatever. And we're playing the Music Hall of Williamsburg at the end of May, and that's a big venue, and I would love for there
Yeah,
to be
wow.
people there. So
Yes.
come on down.
Get
Congrats.
tickets
That's
now,
awesome.
the
And
moment you hear
where
this.
do you have a personal social media that you would like to share?
Oh,
where we can
sure.
find you?
I have been training people that I am on and off there regularly. So, it's my name, Lydia Gammill. Yeah, maybe that's too much information, but that's me. What about you guys?
PreciousGorgeous.com is where you can find me and all my stuff.
I am at AstonHollins, Aston Hollins on Instagram. Hooray!
Hold on, we're not done yet. I want you to quickly tell us the story of how you found the name of the band. 'cause you were saying
it was on a poster. So basically, yeah, we had the band started because my friend needed help driving a car to South by Southwest, and I said, "Cool, I'll help you. Can we play shows?" He said, "Do you have a band?" And I said, "We're gonna make a band." And so we had like some last minute shows, but we needed a name, and we wanted something that was under 5 syllables and could like work in a sentence, and like was vague. And I spent a long time thinking about it, and then I looked at my wall at midnight and said, "Ooh, that's the name."
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
You just had something on your wall that said Gustaf?
Gustaf. It was from the Stockholm Museum. It's a thing of like Gustaf III's death mask. Was like from an exhibit.
Heavy.
Swedish king, bisexual king.
Hey.
Wow. Patron of the
Wowza.
arts.
Yes.
Ha cha 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 cha. We
Wow.
stand.
I feel like right now, I don't know why, but in my mind, I want there to be an action movie called Bisexual King.
It's true.
Like a straight up
I'd watch it.
kung fu
Yeah.
bullet ballet bisexual king. Okay.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, Lydia.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, thank you for
Pleasure.
having me.
So
What a
funny.
treat.
Tell me, what is your favorite failure?
Every day. Probably, actually, no, having my friend see me do improv at the basement of Triple Crown, who was a musician friend.
I've
And
been
so
there.
not used to the world of, make 'em ups.
Wow.
It was humbling.
Did you have a good set or a bad set?
It was awful. You
Oh,
better believe it was
man.
not a good set.
Damn, shout out Steve Ling. Good night, everybody.
Hey.